Dr. Nancy Young, a Southern California native, relocated to Northern California to attend UC Berkeley, where she earned her bachelor's degree. She later obtained her MBA from the University of Phoenix in San Jose and earned a doctorate in theology. Dr. Young served the Tracy City Council for 12 years, including 2 terms as mayor. As the first African American and first female elected mayor of Tracy, Dr. Young broke significant barriers, setting a powerful example for women and minorities to step into leadership roles. Her work as a mentor and a strategist has inspired many to excel in their own paths. She emphasizes the importance of breaking barriers and creating opportunities for growth and leadership. Dr. Young also brings extensive leadership experience from her work with major corporations, including J.P. Morgan, Lamb Research, and Baxter, as well as her service on multiple regional, state, and national corporations. For nearly 30 years, she has co-pastored His Image ministry alongside her husband. As an author and visionary, Dr. Young's commitment to action serves as a blueprint for others to follow. Her contributions to the Tracy community include leading the Student Discovery Program at Kimball High School and launching the Mountain House Key Club, also launching Tracy Connects, championing Measure V to generate over $300 million for community amenities, additionally leading the Leadership Wall project in Tracy City Hall with replicas displayed in both Tracy Historical Museum and the San Joaquin Historical Museum. Dr. Young continues to build her legacy, drawing inspirations from her husband James and their wonderful children and grandchildren. Her dedication to her family, faith, and community remains the cornerstone of her work. Please make some noise and welcome up Dr. Nancy Young.
Thank you. All right. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
I usually don't have a lot of notes, but I was trying to stay focused today, so I printed out some notes early this morning, but I don't know that I can even set it up here. We got the computer going, but I don't want to mess up the picture, so I'll just hold it as we go. We got the whole mic thing too. Well, thank you so much for all of you for inviting me to be here today, to Ms. Butler, to all the BSUs, to all of you who put this together. It has really grown. I've been a part of this since I think 2009. It is wonderful. It has grown a lot. I'm glad for all of you to be here. So give yourselves a hand. This is spreading. The information is spreading. Our unity and community is spreading. So today's theme, if you didn't notice it on the invitation today, was celebrating bright African American minds. Today, we are celebrating one of the most brilliant African American minds, and that is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., right? Come on, give it up for Dr. King. It is many, many years later, over a half a century later, but we still celebrate him today. And the thing is, he began to show his profound leadership at a very early age. Do you know that he graduated high school? Actually, he was accepted into Morehouse College when he was 15 years old. And he got his doctorate when he was 26 years old. That was a young man, and he died when he was 39. He accomplished a lot in the amount of time that he was here on earth. What are you going to do with the time that you have? You're never too young to step out and make a difference. You're never too old to step out and do something now with your life to be that bright mind. He was a bright mind, not just because of all the things he accomplished, not just because of the bus boycott that they got, the integration of the buses, or the, see, looking at notes, it makes it harder going back to here, but it wasn't because of all the things that he accomplished with the Voting Rights or the Civil Rights Act. It was because he inspired others to get involved. He inspired people of all nationalities and all different ages and all generations, and it still comes today where he's still inspiring us. That is what made him a bright mind. How many of you in here consider yourself to have a bright mind? Come on, I want to see a lot of hands going up. Bright mind. But we got some news for you today. If you don't think that you're a bright mind, I'm going to encourage you to cultivate that mind in you so that you can be a bright mind as well. Now, there are 3 things that I want you to understand and take away today. Number 1, why we celebrate bright African American minds. Number 2, what are you going to do with your bright mind? And number 3, how to cultivate that bright mind in you. So you ask why. You know, some people get offended when you want to focus on one group of people. Why do we celebrate bright African American minds? The thing is, you can celebrate your own mind no matter what nationality you are, but it's important to know your history. It's important to preserve your history. As was said earlier when Ms. Wright was up here about repeating it, telling it, writing it down. Because see, if you don't repeat your own history, somebody will change it for you. Somebody erase it for you. Somebody be quick to take the credit for all the things that you've done. This world will be nothing. This country will be nothing if it wasn't for bright African American minds. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but you can do yourself some research and find out the many things that were developed and invented by bright African American minds. So we celebrate today. We have to celebrate your own history. Know what you've done. Know what you've contributed. You can contribute a lot of things. I mean, you've heard a lot of things read about me already in my bio, so I'm not going to go through all of that. But one of the things is that somebody else is looking up to you. Somebody's looking to see what are you going to do and how can you inspire them to be the best of them. I never dreamed about being mayor or a council member when I was a little girl growing up. I just wanted to help other people. Along the line, ministry came in it, and it worked through that particular arena. But by being that and by attaining that status, I know that I've inspired many other people because people have come up to me. Many people are in other positions right now because they saw that I could do it. People are looking to see, what can you do? Can I do that? No matter what it is. Maybe you're a track star, maybe you're a basketball star, maybe you're a musician. Whatever it is, do the excellent. Do that excellently. Show somebody else the way to be that. Now, number 2, what are you going to do with your bright mind? What are you going to do with it? You going to just sit around and be smart? No. You're going to excel. You're going to reach out. You're going to do something great. You're going to do something wonderful. You're going to break barriers. Barriers are still being broken every single day. There are so many things that you can break a barrier in. You can soar. You can reach new heights, high heights. Don't settle for just anything. Don't settle for less. Push yourself to be the best, to give the best. And also you can teach others, right? You can teach others to be better. You have to share with others. Never be selfish. Never be selfish with what you get. Because see, some people, they're so excited about achieving something and they want to be the only one in the spotlight. They want to be the only one to get the glory. They don't want nobody else to come behind them to shine any kind of shade, to put some shade on their lives. No. But it's not about that. It's about shining bright enough that you can inspire others. So when is it okay to just keep it all to yourself? When is it? Never. That's right. Never keep it to yourself. So now, understand that being the first of things is scary. It's a daunting task. I don't know if you've ever been the first one at a school, your older sibling. And I always had a sister. I have a sister a year older than me. I have a sister that's a year younger. So I usually didn't have to ever do anything by myself. My other sister, she went out and scouted out the land, and she already knew the friends, and she already had the pathway to walk to school, and I could go with her. And then when she left to go off to the next thing, I had a little sister behind me. So I still didn't have to be by myself. But I remember when we moved from Compton, we moved to San Fernando, I was in the 8th grade. And I was thrown into a school. My sister stayed behind to finish at Walton Junior High School. And I went to San Fernando Junior by myself with my baby sister. But I was the oldest there. And I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my goodness. And because I went from being at a school where it was 99.9% blacks, all shades of black, to go to a school where I was the only black kid to show up in my class. It was scary. And I remember thinking, oh my God, these people are going to be so much smarter than me. And when I went on a field trip and I was the only black kid on that bus, I'm like, they're going to think I'm bougie, because that was the attitude we had. In Compton, when we saw another little black kid with all these other non-black kids, we thought they were bougie people. And I'm like, oh, Lord, how I'm going to represent to show that I ain't bougie. You know, I'm still cool. But I'm smart. And when I got in my classes and realized that they were not smarter than me, then I could be bold. And I can stand up and I can raise my hand and give the answer. So you never have to dumb yourself down trying to hide or think that somebody's better than, because nobody's better than. We're all human beings and we're all equally wonderful. We're all equally of bright minds. I was trying to find a quote that I wanted to use from Dr. King, because there's so many quotes that he has that are just awesome, astounding. But what I ran across was a research paper that he did August 30th, 1959. This was 10 years even before I was born. And so I just printed some of the quotes here. I just wanted to say some pieces from this paper. It was entitled, "A Tough Mind and a Tender Heart." Very few people achieve this toughness of mind, but all too many are content with the soft mind. It is rarity to find anyone willing to engage in hard, serious thinking. There is almost universal quest for easy answer and half-baked solutions. Nothing pains some people more than the idea of having to think. The soft-minded always fear change. The most pain of all pain for them is the pain of a new idea. They get a security in the status quo. This undue gullibility is also seen in the tendency of many to accept the printed word or the press or even social media as final truth. They fail to see that even facts can be slanted and truth can be distorted. Very few people have the toughness of mind that drives them to look beyond the inevitable biases and subjective appraisals of the newspaper headlines to the actual truth of the situation. Lastly, this last point I wrote down that he said was, there is little hope for us in our personal and collective lives until we become tough-minded enough to rise above the shackles of half-truth and legends. The shape of the world today does not permit the luxury of soft-minded. A nation of soft-minded men is purchasing its own spiritual death on an installment plan. Wow. Dr. King was a beast. When I read that, I was like, I had to pause. I'm like, whoo, he's a beast. But now this takes us to our third takeaway today. How to cultivate the bright mind in you. I'm going to quickly give you 5 keys to that. Number 1, my favorite phrase lately is, worry about yourself. Number 2, exercise your brain. Number 3, surround yourself with bright minds. Number 4, educate yourself. And lastly, maintain balance. Worry about yourself. I don't know if anybody saw this little clip with this little girl in the car. And she was in the back seat. She must have been about 2 years old, and she was in her little car seat. And her dad asked her, "Do you need me to help you?" She's like, "No, thank you." And so she's trying to get it together, and he ready to drive off, right? And he's like, "You sure you don't need any help?" She said, "No, thank you. Worry about yourself." And then he was like, "Are you sure?" She said, "Worry about yourself. Drive. You drive." So sometimes we're so caught up with what other people are doing instead of worrying about ourselves. You got to make sure that you don't allow toxicity and negativity and negative people to come into your space, to speak into you. Allow yourself to be a garbage can. No, 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 no. Worry about yourself. Make sure that your mind is clean. Make sure that your atmosphere is clear around you. And then you can begin to make some changes that you need to do for your life to exercise and cultivate that bright mind. So exercise your brain. And brain is a muscle. It's so just like you have to exercise to get your muscles strong, you need to exercise your mind. Take time to think and learn some things, and don't waste it. Be creative. Sometimes you may fail because that's just a part of life. So when you fail, you get up, you regroup, and then you try again. You may need to add something different, take something away, but don't be afraid to be creative. Don't be afraid to stretch out and do that. Now we're going to move on quickly to surround yourself with other bright minds. You never see an eagle down with the chickens. You need to be, if you want to be an eagle and soar, if you want to do great things, you can't be around people that are naysayers, that's not going to encourage you. You can't tell everybody your dream. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Some things you need to keep it to yourself, or you just talk to that one person that's going to encourage you and that's going to help you. Make sure that you're educating yourself. Look into things that can help you build up what you want to do and what you want to be even better than you do now. And then the last thing is to maintain your balance. Brilliant minds are always on the move. You're always going to be doing something, no matter what age you are. Make sure that you have balance. Take time for family and friends. Take time to regroup. Take time to rest. Make sure that you have the balance that you need to be able to think clearly, so when you go out, that you can be fresh. And you can be fresh to give unto others. In conclusion, deep calls to deep. Bright minds calls out to bright minds, and they attract other bright minds. Even though I've accomplished many things in the 55 years that God has blessed me to be on this earth, I thank God because He gave me people around me to help cultivate me, to see things in me that I didn't even see in myself. And so now I can see a lot of things in other people that they don't see in themselves. I thought that maybe it was a target on me, but it's the light, it's the brightness that shines. So you continue to shine. And if you're a light, there's a scripture that says you don't put a candle under a bushel. You don't hide it. When you light it, it's to show forth light and to give unto others. Shine your light. Shine your light brightly, so that you can be the difference. You can make the difference in the world. I've achieved my different academic successes, and if that's your choice, if that's what you want to do, you do that. You do the best you. Maybe you go into another kind of field that you don't need an academic degree. That's fine. Maybe you still have the dream about being a basketball player. There's a lot of famous ones. Why not you? Don't give up on whatever that dream is that you have. Don't hide your bright mind. Make sure that you're letting it shine. So remember the three things why we celebrate African American Mind. History is important. Remember what you're going to do with your bright minds. You be the difference. You show up. You pull up a table yourself. Don't wait just for somebody to invite you to the table. Sometimes you might have to take your own chair, but sometimes you got to create your own table. Invite other people to your table. You be the lead. You be the boss. Just as Dr. King, you be the beast. And thirdly, the 5 keys to cultivating the bright mind in you. Don't forget to make sure that you worry about yourself. Make sure that you are exercising your brain. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with other bright minds. Make sure that you're educating yourself. Make sure that you're maintaining your balance. So this is the last thing I want you to do. I want you to turn to somebody. I know we're not in church, but turn to somebody, look at somebody, and you tell them, be bright and let your light shine. All right, now, I want you to point to yourself. Tell yourself to be bright and let your light shine.
Be bright and let your light shine.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. If you're already my friend on social media, you'll see I have a new Facebook and Instagram. The name of it is IAMDRNANCYD. So join me on those social media platforms as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you today. God bless you all, and happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day.